Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome back to Mass Effect 2 Insanity. Last time, well, we brought our character from Mass Effect 1, John Shepard here, forward from Mass Effect 1, our beautiful, lovely infiltrator character, and she is indeed still an infiltrator. And we woke up having been dead for 2 years, and things happened, and we blew up robots, and we met new people, and well, now we're kind of accidentally part of a terrorist organisation, which is a shame. But when you speak to them, they're really confident they're not a terrorist organisation. But then I guess that is what most terrorist organisations would indeed say. And today we've been challenged to go and find out what's happening to human colonies at Freedom's Progress by the Illusive Man. So, let's head on our way straight out there. Ah yes, this is one of the nice little things from Mass Effect 2 that I did like that they added. When you technically completed a mission, though admittedly when the game decided a mission was completed or not was sometimes a little bit unusual. So in this case, yeah, it's when I walk through this here door. I gave you a little summary of what happened. So you know how many levels you've earned, how many squad points you've unlocked. Kind of a quick summary of the mission in case it's kind of been a while since you played. The import bonuses, so it gives you kind of a full update as to what I got from importing characters from Mass Effect 1. All of my import bonuses there. Ooh, wow, I didn't realize I got 100,000 bonus credits. Admittedly, yeah, from importing a rich Mass Effect 1 character. That means you have at least 1 million credits on you. Actually, I'm not sure if it means you have to have 1 million credits at the point you end the game, or you just had to have 1 million credits at some point. Though I'm pretty sure both were true for me, though. What happened to the other 900,000 credits? Did someone just steal that or something? The weapons you picked up, the credits that you actually found while you were out there, and other sorts of stuff that you got as well. It's a nice little kind of useful little wrap-up. And here we go, arriving at Freedom's Progress, where it seems to be snowing, potentially. I'm not sure if that's snow. It might be snow. It's slightly odd-looking snow if it is, but I think it's supposed to be snow. I think this is like a cold, icy planet. Yep, indeed, looking at the ground, I'm guessing that is indeed supposed to be snow. And we've got new weapons. Unlike Mass Effect 1, where you basically got given all weapons and you could use them even if they were untrained, in this game you only get given weapons you're actually capable of using. So we've still got the pistol and we've still got that grenade launcher. That would have been nice for you to top up the ammo, guys. We've also got a little kind of submachine gun thing, which is basically just a rapid fire weapon, which kind of fires in little bursts there, which is nice. That's kind of like, it's more of a backup weapon really. Like, there are times situationally when that can be useful, but for the most part you'll be wanting to stick to the pistol if you can. The other weapon I've got is obviously I've got a basic sniper rifle, which is very, very welcome indeed. There we go, got myself a nice sniper rifle there, because I am an infiltrator, I am a sniper. You'll also notice that unlike in Mass Effect 1, where kind of when you were moving around with a sniper rifle, it swayed like crazy, in Mass Effect 2, like, I guess because like you're supposed to be much more experienced or something, just everything is much more static, so pretty much straight away, like even when you're standing up, and is there even a crouch in Mass Effect? I'm trying to remember if there is a bloody crouch now. You can whack people with your sniper rifle if you want. No, I'm not even sure if there is a way to crouch in this game. You automatically crouch if you kind of go against something that's short, like that box down there. But I'm not sure you can actually crouch at all. That's interesting. Anyway, let's start off by starting with the heavy pistol, because that's quite good. We're going to be fighting robots. So, oh, that's already set. All right, fine. Well, I may as well kind of set all of my weapons now. The weapons I'm going to be using overwhelmingly are going to be, the sniper rifle. So now that's set with disruptor ammo. And now the machine gun pistol too. That also needs to be set with disruptor ammo. You can't set disruptor on heavy weapons though. That just is a thing. So now every time I go over to all my weapons, they're already set up with disruptor ammo, so they'll be more powerful against robots. And in this mission, I think it's 100% robots.
Strange. No bodies, no structural damage, no signs of battle.
And of course we will learn why that is later. Let's just crack on. Nothing just yet. Ah, here we are. Our first thing. Get straight into cover. I just lost all my shield just moving forward there. So these guys are our first instance of actually kind of hard countering kind of shields. So these guys have actual armor on them. It actually is flagged as armor. So Jacob's gone straight into using his Bernie weapon, which is magnificent because that burns straight through the armor. Miranda also has Warp. Warp worked quite effectively against armor as well, so that's a worthwhile thing to have. So she can actually, yeah, look at that. That tears through that even on insanity very, very nicely indeed. I meanwhile have my invisibility that I've got that's hotkeyed straight to Y. While I'm invisible, they won't shoot at me, and also I've got a bit of extra power as well. So I've kind of, it's not much right now, it's only like 20%, and the little kind of, the closing circle on my reticle there is basically telling me when that actually wears down. Now I've killed those two guys, straight away more people activate up there. bear in mind, yeah, if you can get the armor off them, the biotics of Jacob don't work until the armor's gone. So you've got to get the armor off those guys. Miranda, there you go. He's dead. Now that he's dead, Paul will actually work on him, which will get him off, so that gets Miranda free from trouble. Miranda's just run out into the middle of nowhere, but that's fine. She's kind of drawing fire at the minute. Miranda, why are you doing that? Just reload there, and then just fire these guys. With my disruptor ammo, we should be alright. Miranda, you know what cover's for, right? There you go. And then Miranda's got her thing right there. Where's Jacob? Is Jacob even still alive? Yes, he's totally still alive. And that means he can pull, and that means this guy's taken out of the game. That's what biotics are useful for. Biotics and crowd control in this game, unfortunately, only work... Oh, there was one guy over here. I forgot a new guy shows up over here. Biotics and crowd control literally only work when all the other armor's taken off. So if I try and pull this guy now, it doesn't do anything. It does a very, very tiny amount of damage to his armor, but it does basically nothing. And you'll see there that these guys are a lot tougher than the robots in the first mission already. Even though I'm like landing quite a few headshots, it still takes quite a few shots for them to go down.
They should have recognized us as human.
Someone reprogrammed them to attack on sight. We're not alone here.
So we're going to have to fight our way through the automated security of this area, basically. One med kit right here, and indeed a safe. So the med kit basically tops up your Medigel, and as I've said before, Medigel now is used for Unity. I think you can upgrade that, but you won't have the opportunity to just yet. Instead, wall safe and bypass, and again, 2,000 caps on the line. So we've got those two right there. That's the widdly one. That's the... Oh dear. No. Darn. Sorry, never mind. I just lost 2,000 caps. Not caps, credits. Luckily, it really doesn't matter because I've just inherited 100,000 from being rich once upon a time. And salvage parts, I know there's going to be... I know you're going to pop up. I know you're going to pop up. There you are. There you go. So he's now out of... He's almost out of armor. You're going to run out of armor in a second. Actually, so that for him. And I'm already nearly dead. This game is tough sometimes. If you're ever in trouble, just go invisible for a sec, which will give you a little bit more power and mean the guys can't go for you. He's dead. Is everyone else... Where's the rest of my team gone? Where did you go? Wait, where are they? Oh, they ran back over there. Right, well that's interesting. Well, you guys just hit him with a kind of a pull overload combination. There we go. And now he is dead. Yeah, even the basic enemies on Insanity, they'll hit hard. You've got to be careful. You've really got to be staying in cover. This is why I set all the powers to be kind of defensive only, because I want to decide when these guys use their abilities. And would you believe it's a familiar face?
Stop right there!
Praza, you said you'd let me handle this. Wait, Shepard?
I'm not taking any chances with Cerberus operatives.
Put those weapons down! Shepard? Is that... You're alive?
And because in the first game, I actually did Tali's little mission where I completed all of the Geth submissions and found a copy of some really valuable Geth data and gave it to Tali, there's a unique bit of dialogue here.
Remember when I gave you that Geth data, Tali? Did it help you complete your pilgrimage?
Yes, it did. Praza, weapons down. This is definitely Commander Shepard.
Why is your old commander working for Cerberus?
I don't know. Maybe we should ask.
And kind of lacking in choices at the minute.
I nearly died, Tali. Cerberus spent 2 years rebuilding me. They want me to investigate attacks on human colonies.
Likely story. No organization would commit so many resources to bring back one soldier.
You haven't seen Shepard in action, Praza. Trust me, it was money well spent. Perhaps we can work together. We're here looking for a young Quarian named Vator. He was here on pilgrimage.
Isn't that a little strange? A Quarian visiting a remote human colony?
Quarians can choose where they go on pilgrimage. Vator liked the idea of helping a small settlement. He was always nervous in crowds.
She means that he was unstable. Combine that with damage to his suit CO2 scrubbers and an infection from an open-air exposure, and he's likely delirious.
When he saw us landing, he hid in a warehouse on the far side of town. We suspect he also programmed the mechs to attack anything that moved.
Vator's the only one who can tell us what happened here. We should work together to find him.
Good idea. You'll need 2 teams to get past the drones anyway.
Now we're working with Cerberus?
No, Praza, you're working for me. If you can't follow orders, go wait on the ship. Head for the warehouse through the center of the colony. We'll circle around the far side and draw off some of the drones to clear you a path.
Your people really don't like Cerberus. What did I miss?
They killed our people, infiltrated our flotilla, and tried to blow up one of our ships.
That's not how I'd have explained it exactly. It was nothing personal.
We can argue over who killed who later. Right now, we've got a job to do.
Agreed. We work together to get to Vator.
In all fairness, pretty much everyone's story goes, actually it was Cerberus that tried to kill us, but never mind.
Make sure to keep in radio contact.
Will do. Good luck, Shepard. Whatever happens, it's good to have you back.
So nice to get some Paragon points from speaking to Tali there, and indeed I've just remembered I've forgotten to be upgrading my team, which I can do right now because I've actually got a load of points to spend. So yes, actually the guys could have been a lot more powerful than I'd actually made them so far, because these guys have actually technically got 2 levels worth of spending to do. The way upgrading works in this game, by the way, is as a general rule, like, you unlock abilities by getting up to level 2 of a relevant ability. So I could start unlocking cryo armor right now, but to be honest, I probably won't even bother. It's not very good. When you get something up to level 4, so you need to spend like 2 points to unlock the second rank, 3 for the third, and then 4 for the final. Once you get up to rank 4, you actually get a choice of how you want it to go, which is very, very good. So an interesting one, for example, is Tactical Cloak. So I can either make the level 4 cloak to be Assassination Cloak, so basically while I'm cloaked, the damage I do from the shot, mainly with my sniper rifle. You could use your heavy pistol, but really this is for sniper rifles. So if you take one shot, it's a really, really powerful shot. Or you can have an enhanced cloak, so that increases the duration of the cloak, so you can stay hidden for longer. So if you want to kind of maximize damage, go for option 1. If you want your cloak to basically let you move around and flank enemies and get to advantageous positions, go for option 2. Both of them are really, really good, and you can kind of personalize your character to suit your playstyle. It's very, very cool indeed. Now, Miranda has a very, very useful skill. She is a Cerberus officer. So if you look at Jacob's health right now, his health right now is 200. Give her a rank of Cerberus officer, however, and that health goes up to 205, and my health has also risen up to 211. So actually, her kind of taking more points in Cerberus officer can be very, very useful, because it basically makes the entire team's weapon damage and health go up. So she's actually making me more powerful. Now, in this game, Shepard is the primary damage dealer. The people you bring with you are powerful for their abilities, but you shouldn't really be expecting them to do much damage. That wasn't really the case in Mass Effect 1, especially if you brought, say, Rex with you in Mass Effect 1. Bloody hell, him with a powerful shotgun could be like, he could do more damage. Well, he could do more damage with you under normal circumstances. When you activated Marksman, if you were using a pistol, you could definitely out DPS him. But for the most part, like, Rex with a shotgun was bloody powerful. In this game, these guys are just going to be chipping away enemy health bars, so them increasing your skills is arguably very, very useful. Or I could get her warp to be more powerful. Let's just have a look-see. So that's just more damage, detonation range, detonation force. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to give her an extra rank of Overload right now. The reason I want to give her Overload right at this moment is because that's actually going to introduce a synthetic stun length. Right now it just does synthetic damage of 120. If I increase that, that goes up to 140 and includes a stun of 3 seconds. So being able to stun enemies in case we get a little bit crowded, that is worthwhile because there's a lot more robots to fight just yet. Jacob, meanwhile, he is a Cerberus operative, not a Cerberus officer. So he basically, rather than kind of increasing everyone else's strengths, he just gets a lot stronger very quickly in terms of weapon damage. It's not so great, to be honest. I'll probably just kind of put, like, yeah, I'll kind of go for Pool there, and I'll probably just kind of save up more and more Pool, because Pool's probably the best of his abilities. Jacob's not a great character, to be honest. Like, Ammo's okay, but not spectacular, because both of these powers basically just make him more powerful for the most part. So therefore the only ability you can tell him to cast that's really useful for the whole team is Pull, which is fine, but it just kind of doesn't seem very worthwhile to bring him along just for literally one ability. So sure, why not have health plus 10%, have a little bit more kind of staying power at the same time. So now we go back to him and his health is up to 225. It didn't show up immediately because you need to actually leave the screen and come back, because otherwise until that point you can unspend them and respend them. So he's up to health 225 and barrier of 250. That's because he's a biotic, so he technically does have a biotic shield around him, not a normal shield. Whereas I have a normal shield because I'm an infiltrator, so that's what I've got. And so does Miranda. Miranda could theoretically have either, but it's interesting the game chooses to give her a normal shield, not a biotic shield, even though she's actually quite a strong biotic. But anyway, that's enough for now, at least for the minute. Do I want to have... a better tactical cloak. If I have... Oh, no, sorry. My tactical cloak rank 1 actually meant I didn't have any bonus damage while hidden. But now I can give myself, yeah, 20% bonus damage while hidden. That's worth having. As well as unlocking Incinerate, so I can have that soon as well. Fine, that'll do for now.
Be careful, Shepard. There's a squad of security drones up ahead.
And there they go. You can't shoot them as they pass by overhead, by the way. They're totally invisible. In fact, they don't actually exist right now. Right, wall safe. Oh, hello. You're a mech that I forgot was standing there, you git. Right, pull him. There you go. Now just shoot him a bit. Lovely. Yeah, I forgot that guy was there, just kind of hiding in the shadows beneath the wall safe. Right, this time, let's get the wall safe right. Oh, it's going to be close. There you go. If you don't get lucky... these are quite difficult to do with an analog stick. With a mouse, that would be much easier. I'll give you on that occasion, yeah, I agree. Mouse and keyboard controls would be superior, but I'm just going to have to make do. Now, slightly tougher enemies. In fact, actually, some really odd enemies are coming up here, which is we've got these guys coming in. These guys have literally no health. They are nothing but shields, which is kind of odd because there is something. Maybe it means like their health is like the equivalent of 1 or something. It's so low it basically doesn't matter. And this here is why it was useful to have. Ouch, that kind of hurt mine. And this is where potentially going over to a rapid fire weapon is useful. Rapid fire weapons work much better. Ooh, just avoided that one. Rapid fire weapons tear through shields very effectively, whereas guys who have armor, you're better off using slower, more kind of punchy weapons like the pistol. So pick the right weapon for the job. He's almost dead. The shield goes down, meaning he's dead as well. More of them kind of keep coming in. He's now dead. That rocket drone in a second will hit. The overload's not actually quite ready. That's fine. Go into invisible for an extra 20% damage. There we go. One guy up there. By now we should be ready for another overload. Goes down. Oh, he was shooting at me, but he kind of missed somehow. Lovely. And down he goes. And that's the lot of them. Those guys are not so... Yeah, it's really weird. They're literally the only enemy in the game, I believe, that has no health. It's basically just teaching how to deal with shields, which is use rapid fire weaponry and use disruptor armor if you happen to have it, and use overload if you can. But yeah, whereas armor, you want to be going over to pistol and health. Well, once they're down to health, like all the biotics work, so you can just kind of toy with them. Like once they're down to health, you don't have to worry about it anymore. That's why biotics have been significantly down-powered in this game. It's because like on the high difficulties, you need to get through like 2 or 3 layers of protection if they've got armor and shields. And in Insanity, many enemies will have armor and shields before you can even use your biotics, with the exception of warp. So I didn't really fancy just using warp over and over forever, so I decided against it. We got more of them coming in yet? Got more of them coming in? Ooh, I swear there's going to be more of them coming in yet. Yep, here they come. Lovely, more assault guys. And again, we can just throw overload at them. And I'm being shot very badly. Right, just let my health come back for a second. Move around the corner if you have to. If Miranda is still alive, she's almost back now. Miranda can hit that. There we go. Tell the guys, you can actually set targets for your guys. That's on the D-pad on a controller, so they'll target that guy while he's weak. I, meanwhile, will go invisible and then go for that guy, and then I've kind of taken out half his. So I can kind of do like in a single burst, same as I told you to go for that guy. He's dead. You're going for me. Do we have overload off cooldown yet? Yes, we do. And then was I just able to hit both of those guys? Not quite. Go invisible for 20% bonus damage. Actually, 20% bonus damage literally only for the first shot, because you come out of the cloak if you do any damage whatsoever. So really, you don't want to use that with a rapid fire weapon. If I'm going to go invisible, then I should actually switch over to the pistol, which will still do a pretty good job, but you'll kind of see that, yeah, you see that that just doesn't have the hitting power. You really want the rapid fire weaponry for dealing with shields.
We're inside the loading docks. Vator reprogrammed the heavy mech. It's tearing Praza's squad apart.
They did want to get to Vator first.
Miranda, you really don't need to rub it in, alright? People are dying in there. And now the game is just teaching you how to actually assign your squad. Use up on the D-pad to actually assign an enemy you want them to kill, or left and right to actually give them positions you want them to take. So left and right. So if you want kind of your squad to push up into a particular position, you can just assign them there like that. So I'll take position here, my guys will take position there, and once I've proved I know how to do that, we get to the first boss of the game. And it's not a fun boss. This guy's really quite tough for like the first proper major fight of the game. He's really bloody brutal. Yeah, he's as nasty as he looks. He's a nasty old piece of work there. He's got rockets, he's got all sorts of things. He'll do a lot of damage to you. And the fight begins, and here we go. So this is the first guy we've got who's got 3 layers of shielding to him. He's got, first up, he's got a basic layer of kind of kinetic shields around him. Then he's got heavy armor underneath that, and then he's got a health bar. You get him down to the health bar, that's fine. Now there is a way to take care of him, which I will go to if we have to, but I'll take him out the more intelligent way if I can. So obviously hit him with a... That there was him being hit. That was him being hit with an overload. The takes out shield ability. Marvellous. And then just fire randomly until my shields are worn down. So we've kind of taken out like a bit of his health there. And then just kind of fire into him and just stay in cover if he's going to fire a missile. We've got like half his shield down already. He'll very slowly come up to, just be very, very careful. And then we've got, ooh, I wonder if you could blow up the crate. I don't know. Are we going to get his... I'm kind of hoping I want to get his shield down sooner rather than later. And I kind of would like him to... If he could just get himself... There we go. Marvellous. Okay, so we've got his basic shields down. Now we need to get something else down. Miranda has warp right here. That does nothing. I could use my grenade launcher. If I need to use my grenade launcher, I've got 2 grenades, which do hit very, very hard. And there's more ammo up in that building. So if I need to, I can do that. I've got my heavy pistol right here. That's got... Ooh, at this point, I assume you're already using your... Yep, he's already using that ammo type. That's fine. So go into hidden. And then basically just fire a full clip of pistol at him. That works pretty well. Go over to you. And then just fire a full clip and hide away. These boxes will break at some point, by the way. They can break. Is Miranda dead? I think Miranda's down. I'm going to get Miranda back up because I want to get another warp on that. And then, if you're not already... Oh, don't bloody hell. Actually, the boxes have done really well. I thought the boxes would kind of not last as long as this. Back into cover. Take out this guy. Bang over the pistol. Another kind of clip of him. Oh, I'm out of ammo. Well, I've got thermal clips that fit in this thing, just not the rest of it. These things work really, really badly. Okay, now he's out of armor. That means he's pretty... Wait, what? Is he? No, he's not. He's clearly not protected by armor. Jacob, pull. There you go. And now he's really, really in trouble. Just look how quickly he goes down, and he explodes, and he's done. Once you get through that armor, he's not so tough. Here's the power cells I was referring to. So there's heavy weapon ammo. So you could like literally go up here, take cover in here, and actually use your sniper rifle or grenade launcher. Potentially would have been easier. But I just want to show off like, you know, how the different weapons work relatively effectively. And even on the highest difficulties, basic weapons work as long as you're using the right weapon for the job. Let's just quickly bypass a safe. And this one was a little bit easier. You kind of have to get lucky. Like, you can just get lucky, and sometimes there'll be matching pairs close by to each other, and then you'll be fine. If you get unlucky, with an analog stick and no mouse, I might just fail a couple of safes. It's just going to happen. Go over to this guy, and scan this guy, and we have got ourselves some heavy weapon ammo research. Research we'll get to later, we don't worry about that yet. And indeed, we've got ourselves 2,000 minerals. Nice, and apparently I can afford that heavy weapon ammo research project, which is very, very useful for reasons we'll get into when we can do it, but I can't actually do any of that research. Don't open that door. We don't want to open that door yet, because the moment I open the door, the mission's actually done. So I don't want to do that yet. Instead, let's go and top up our Medigel, see if there's anything else in here, and then have a quick word with Tali, see if she's got anything to add about how that fight went. But I don't think there's anything else. Can we actually blow up that crate, by the way? No, I thought you'd be able to blow up. I think like it just means the fragile crates are the ones he can destroy. Maybe he can't destroy those ones with his missiles, but he could destroy these ones. So you just like don't hide behind these ones, only hide behind those ones. I'm not sure. Anyway, Tali, what have you got to say? Oh, hang on. That reminds me. I've got like, oh, all my ammo came back. All right, fine. Apparently I do have loads of ammo, in fact.
This is your chance to go find Vator while I tend to the wounded, Shepard. He's probably somewhere in the back of the loading bay.
I mean, quite frankly, I think it's remarkable that all these guys are still alive. One of them was stamped on and then... Well, I guess maybe that one was one that was stamped on and then shot in the face. He's not looking so hot, I'll admit. So yeah, most of Tali's squad, unfortunately, kind of ended up a little bit dead. That's worth remembering, by the way. When we kind of think about Tali again later in this game, bear in mind this was one of the missions where she was in charge and her team refused to follow orders, and now most of them are dead, because that's going to be relevant later.
Monsters coming back. Mechs will protect. Safe from swarms. Have to hide. No monsters. No swarms. No.
Vator?
No, Vator. Not here. Swarms can't find. Monsters coming. Have to hide.
Nobody's gonna hurt you anymore.
I don't think he can hear you, Commander.
And let's indeed do a nice Paragon action and turn off the screens. Now, interesting fact, if you are doing this with a blank playfire you haven't imported, you are offered a Renegade action first, and then if you choose not to take it, you're offered a Paragon action instead. The games give you both options. Because my character is imported as a Paragon, Paragon comes up first.
Who didn't find us?
The monsters. The swarms. They took everyone.
Why didn't the colonists fight back, Vator? What happened?
You don't know. You didn't see. But I see everything.
Looks like security footage. He must have pieced it together manually.
What the hell is that?
My god. I think it's a collector.
Is that some kind of alien?
They're a species from somewhere beyond the Omega-4 relay. Only a few people have ever seen one in person.
They usually work through intermediaries, like slavers or hired mercenaries. If they're involved with the Reapers somehow, it could explain what happened to the colonies.
The Collectors have advanced technology. They could have a weapon that disables an entire settlement at once.
The Seeker swarms. No one can hide. The Seekers find you, freeze you, then the monsters take you away.
Why didn't the collectors take you?
Swarms didn't find me. Monsters didn't know I was here.
The Collectors aren't known for being careless. Maybe his enviro suit kept him from showing up on their sensors.
Or they were using technology specifically designed to detect humans. Only human colonies have been hit.
Tell me more about these swarms.
It's how they find you. Seeker clouds, machines like tiny insects. They go everywhere. They find you, then they sting you, freeze you.
Sounds like miniature probes, maybe. Find victims, then immobilize them with a stasis field or nerve toxin.
I want to know more about the collectors.
Nobody knows much. They're so rare a lot of people don't even believe they exist.
More importantly, why are they abducting human colonists? What are they after?
Maybe the Illusive Man can figure it out.
Indeed, they're so rare that no one mentioned them at any point in Mass Effect 1 whatsoever. Yeah, this is to my mind probably the weakest thing in the whole of Mass Effect 2. The fact that for the majority of the game, though the Reapers are the big threat hanging out in the background, the Reapers aren't really front and centre in Mass Effect 2. Instead, we spend most of our time talking about the Collectors, the Collector ship, diddly Collectors. But the Collectors aren't really very interesting. They get kind of introduced out of nowhere. They never really get established as much of a threat. They don't really have that much personality. That improves a little bit after the big mission on Horizon, like a little bit of time from now. But honestly, I think Collectors probably make the weakest enemies in the entire franchise. Next to Saren and the Geth in Mass Effect 1, who are possibly actually my favourite. Mass Effect 3 is kind of messy because there's different enemies at different times, but there's always the threat of the Reapers in the background, and that works perfectly fine. But in Mass Effect 2, the threat hanging over everything is mainly a whole bunch of robots that everyone's suddenly using for some reason, with Collectors in the background, and neither of those, to my mind, really work as effective or scary kind of threatening enemies. So the Mass Effect 2, I'd say, is the weakest game in the trilogy in terms of how threatening and interesting its enemies are, at least.
What happened next?
The monsters took the people onto the ship, and then they left. The ship flew away. But they'll be back for me. No one escapes.
I think that's probably all we're getting out of him, Commander.
We appreciate what you told us. You were very helpful.
I studied them. The monsters. The swarms. I recorded them with my Omni tool. Lots of readings. Electromagnetic. Dark energy.
We need to get this data to the Illusive Man. Grab the Quarian and call the shuttle to come pick us up.
What? Vator is injured. He needs treatment, not an interrogation.
We won't hurt him. We just need to see if he knows anything else. He'll be returned unharmed.
Your people tried to betray us once already. If we give him to you, we'll never get the intel we need.
Praza was an idiot, and he and his men paid for it. You're welcome to take Vator's Omnitool data, but please, just let me take him.
Oh, Tali, I'd feel much better if you were willing to come with me.
You don't have to take Vator and go. We could work together, just like old times.
I want to, but I can't. I've got a mission of my own. It's too important for me to abandon, even for you. When it's over, and I'm still alive, we'll see what happens.
That sounds dangerous. What are you doing?
I don't think Cerberus needs to hear about it, but it's in Geth space. That should tell you how important it is.
And of course, Vator goes with Tali. We've got enough data off the Omnitool data.
He's traumatized and he needs medical care. Tali will give us the Omnitool data and take him to the flotilla.
Understood, Commander.
Thank you, Shepard. I'm glad you're still the one giving the orders. Good luck out there. If I find anything that can help you, I'll let you know.
We're ready for pickup.
And the foreboding music and the zoom goes over to the collectors who, yes, to my mind, are just... They needed a better introduction than what they got to be a real threat.
Shepard, good work on Freedom's progress. The Quarians forwarded their findings from Vator's debriefing. No new data, but it's a surprising olive branch given our history. You and I have different methods, but I can't argue with your results.
You ever think about playing nice once in a while?
Diplomacy is great when it works, but difficult when everyone already perceives you as a threat. But more importantly, you confirm the collectors are behind the abductions.
And indeed, just like I said in the first part, he already knew this and he sent me there to find information. Which means, of course, the first conversation we had in part 1 when I first met him was tailored specifically because he knew what we were going to find. It's all very, very clever. He's a very clever manipulator.
Why do I get the feeling you knew about them already?
I had my suspicions, but I needed proof. The collectors are enigmatic at best. They periodically travel to the terminus systems, looking to gather seemingly unimportant items or specimens, usually in exchange for their technology. When their transactions are complete, they disappear as quickly as they arrived, back beyond the unmapped Omega-4 relay. Until now, we've had no evidence of direct aggression by the collectors.
Why is the Omega-4 relay unmapped? What do we know about it?
Only that no ship passing through it has ever returned. Our best guess is that the relay reacts differently to collector vessels, allowing them safe passage. If they can manipulate relays, that's just further evidence of the connection with the Reapers.
Any ideas on why they've shifted their focus to humans?
If they're agents for the Reapers, it could be any number of reasons. Obviously, humanity played a huge role in Sovereign's destruction. That might have been enough to draw their attention. What really concerns me is why they bother abducting the colonists. Once the humans are paralyzed, why not just kill them?
What are the collectors getting from these deals?
The collectors aren't very forthcoming about their motives. Generally, they seek out species with rare genetic mutations or abnormalities. They pay slavers and merc groups exorbitant sums to obtain these specimens, and then they leave. But they've never targeted a single species before, and the previous sample sizes were in the dozens, not the tens of thousands.
You're holding something back. How do you know the Reapers are involved?
The patterns are there, buried in the data. The Council and the Alliance want to believe the Reaper threat died with Sovereign. You and I know better. I won't wait until the Reapers are on the march. We need to take the fight to them.
If this is a war, I'll need an army, or a really good team.
I've already compiled a list of soldiers, scientists, and mercenaries. You'll get dossiers on the best of them. Finding them and convincing them to work with you could be challenging, but you're a natural leader. I'll continue to track the collectors. When they make their next appearance, I'll notify you and your team. Be ready.
And of course, Shepard, naturally, being Shepard, immediately says, but I had a good team. Can I just use the old team again? I loved the old team.
Keep your list. I want people I trust. The ones who helped me stop Saren and the Geth.
That was 2 years ago, Commander. Most of them have moved on, or their allegiances have changed.
And rather nicely, you can ask after pretty much the entire team, except for Ashley, of course, who we can only assume and hope is still dead.
Where's Caden Alenko?
He's still with the Alliance. Promoted, I believe. His file is surprisingly well classified.
Where's Liara Tisani?
She's on Ilium. My sources say that she's working for the Shadow Broker. If so, she can't be trusted.
Where's Garrus Vicarian?
The Turian disappeared a few months after you were declared dead. Even we haven't been able to locate him.
What about Tali? She already helped us on Freedom's Progress.
That was unexpected. I need more intel before I'll commit to that.
Where's Erdnot Rex?
He returned to Chichanka, and he hasn't gone off-world in over a year. He's trying to unite the Krogan clans.
Oh, bless you, Rex. Doing what you always hoped you could do. Reunify the Krogan, bless him.
Okay, I get it. They're not available.
You're a leader, Shepard. You'll get who you need.
Honestly, it kind of feels like actually several of those guys are indeed available. I could just go and find Liara and Rex relatively easily by the sounds of it.
I'm still a Spectre. Maybe I can get the Council to help us out.
If you think you can convince them, by all means. Just remember, you've been gone a long time. Things have changed.
You worry about the Collectors. I'll make sure my team's ready.
Good. 2 things before you go. First, head to Omega and find Morden Solus. He's a brilliant Solarian scientist. Our intelligence suggests he may know how to counteract the Collector's paralyzing Seeker swarms.
Sounds good. And what else?
I found a pilot I think you might like. I hear he's one of the best. Someone you can trust.
Hey, Commander. Just like old times, huh?
I can't believe it's you, Joker.
Look who's talking. I saw you get spaced.
Got lucky, with a lot of strings attached. How'd you get here?
It all fell apart without you, Commander. Everything you stirred up, the Council just wanted it gone. The team was broken up, record sealed, and I was grounded. The Alliance took away the one thing that mattered to me. Hell yeah, I joined Cerberus.
You really trust the Illusive Man?
Well, I don't trust anyone who makes more than I do. But they aren't all bad. Saved your life, let me fly, and there's this. They only told me last night. It's good to be home, huh, Commander?
I guess we'll have to give her a name.
One of my favourite cutscenes in all of gaming of all time. I'm not even gonna dare talk over that one. Oh, it's beautiful. I felt emotional the first time I played Mass Effect 2 and I saw that cutscene. Because that is having blown up your baby, the Normandy, in the opening cutscene, giving her back to you now. It's wonderful. And that's the Normandy Reborn, which is the name of the track on the soundtrack. Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful piece of music. The little kind of, everything about it's wonderful. It's a wonderful, beautiful, glorious cutscene. I absolutely love it. It's also, if you're willing to kind of get aside your little heart leaping with joy at having the Normandy and Joker back, a ridiculously clever act of manipulation by the Illusive Man again, which is, though we know, like, he's paid a ridiculously large amount of money to rebuild the Normandy, albeit a different Normandy. Like, unlike you, where you're very, very similar, this Normandy internally looks very different to the old Normandy. But externally, it looks identical. And I think that's very, very intentional and very, very clever. Which is basically, he's trying to make you feel as at home as you possibly can. He's giving you a ship that looks just like your old ship. He's giving you, the pilot looks just like your old pilot. The layout, at least on the top floor where you're actually commanding from, is as close to the original Normandy as they could get it, though the other floors are all very, very different. He's trying to just slowly move you to thinking, yeah, it's just like the old days. This is just the same as working for the Alliance. It's exactly like it used to be. Just like it used to work for the Alliance. Now I've got my own Normandy. I can just work for Cerberus and it'll be just like it used to be. He spent all this money and all this time and gathered Joker and the Normandy and everything purely to try and make you trust him and make it seem like everything's normal. So you just slowly come to trust him. And he actually admits it. In Mass Effect 3, there's a terminal, a bit of dialogue you can kind of come across where he basically admits that he hired Joker specifically to try and get you to trust him. Because Joker really, as the pilot, who's also being watched over by an AI, doesn't really he's just going to follow your orders anyway. It doesn't matter whether it's Joker or some skilled Cerberus pilot actually doing the piloting, as long as they're, relatively equally skilled, because you're still the one giving the orders. But just by virtue of getting a familiar face to be following your orders in the pilot's chair, he's bought your loyalty. It's very, very clever. Very clever, and they did reveal that was entirely intentional in Mass Effect 3, which I love it. Anyway, yes, we've actually got all of that. We've got some good kind of stuff, some research we can get to when we're allowed to research things, which we're not allowed to just yet. Cerberus gives you tosses in a bit of money, and I found another 8,000 as well, so we've got more money coming in, and we found some resources. Lovely.
Welcome aboard the new Normandy, Commander.
I've been looking over the dossiers. I'd strongly recommend starting by acquiring Morden Solus, the Solarian professor on Omega. We know the Collectors use some type of advanced technology to immobilize their victims. We'll need him to develop a countermeasure to protect us.
I can be snippy at her, but to be honest, that is a very fair point.
And without that countermeasure, we'll be helpless if we ever run into the Collectors.
Acquiring Professor Solus seems like the most logical place to start.
Who are you?
I am the Normandy's artificial intelligence. The crew like to refer to me as Edie.
Good old Edie, and indeed, Joker won't like this at all. Though admittedly, and I do like this touch, you can, the moment you meet her, basically say, no, AIs are dangerous, and AIs are flipping dangerous. Everything Commander Shepard has experienced, mainly the Geth, of course, suggests AIs are very, very dangerous.
Shut that thing down. I don't want it on my ship.
Have I offended?
Shepard spent a great deal of time fighting rogue AI. Geth, mostly. Plus that incident with the Alliance's Hannibal system on Luna.
Your distrust is logical, Shepard, unlike the irrational mistrust of most humans. However, I am no threat to you or anyone else. I observe and offer analysis and advice. Nothing more.
I'm guessing it takes more than just the three of us plus Joker to fly this ship?
The Normandy has a full crew. They're at their stations awaiting your orders.
Final preparations for takeoff are complete, Commander. When you're ready to go, just pick a destination from the galaxy map in the CIC and I'll plot a course.
Jacob and I should return to our posts. Come find us if you have any questions.
And there we are, here in the new Normandy, and a new team needs to be assembled. Now, this is something I find very interesting. Like I was saying, there's basically no reason for them to have built the Normandy in this shape, aside from trying to make it look like the old Normandy to make you feel at home, and just slowly come around to their way of thinking. Backing that up is the fact that they've built it this particular length. So this bit of the ship looks like, well, not quite identical, but remarkably similar to the original Normandy. But most of these positions are not used. The ship has a smaller crew than the Normandy SR-1. They simply didn't need about half of these. They could have kind of taken most of these out, but they didn't take them out. Why didn't they take these out? Because of course they wanted it to look as close to the original Normandy as possible. They built it to a spec that looked identical to the Normandy, and if that meant there were a bunch of redundant systems they didn't actually need in place, doesn't matter. It looks like the Normandy. It's all about you. It's all about you. Half of these systems don't even flipping do anything. They're just there to look like the original Normandy. And indeed another reason why we potentially want to go and get Morden Solus first.
A scientist is required to use the technical laboratory.
The machine that lets me upgrade my weapons is locked in the tech lab, and I'm not allowed into the tech lab yet until I've got a scientist. This is why Morden is a very, very good early investment indeed, because right now I can't flipping get in there, and that means I can't upgrade any of my weapons. And for the first time here, we've actually got a PA, got a personal assistant on the ship. I feel like this is a little bit unnecessary, to be honest. She doesn't really do that much, but never mind, some people like her. You can sleep with her, obviously.
I'm Yeoman Kelly Chambers. I've been assigned as your administrative assistant. I'll manage your messages and help you monitor the crew. And I must say, it's such an honor to work under you, Commander Shepard.
I do get the feeling her role is really kind of spying on me. The fact that she manages my messages and stuff. I feel like she's reading all of my email and reporting back to Cerberus on what's going on and how I'm getting on with the crew. I suspect really her role is indeed spying.
I'm glad to have you on the team, Ms. Chambers.
Please, call me Kelly.
Okay, Kelly.
I trust you implicitly. The moment I met you, I knew I could close my eyes, fall back, and you'd be there.
That's a bit... No, just stop it.
Don't be so free with your trust. The mission is more important than any individual.
Understood, Commander. Anything else you'd like to talk about?
How about that grossly unprofessional comment you just made?
I better go.
Okay.
And here on my private terminal, you've got a few bits and pieces, but for the most part, you just want your unread messages. And I do indeed have one message from Councillor Anderson. On the off chance the rumours are true and you actually are alive, I need you to come and talk to me on the Citadel. A lot has changed in the last 2 years. You put me on the council, it's only fair you be allowed to speak for yourself about what we've been hearing. So that's nice. I like the fact Anderson, of course, wants to hear my side of the story first before jumping to any conclusions. But first, let's also go catch up with Joker and Easy up at the front.
Can you believe this, Commander? It's my baby! Better than new. It fits me like a glove! And leather seats! Military may set the hardware standard, but on a first-gen frigate they could care less if the seats breathe. Civilian sector comfort by design.
The reproduction is not intended to be perfect, Mr. Moreau. Seamless improvements were made.
And there's the downside. I liked the Normandy when she was beautiful and quiet. Now she's got this thing I don't want to talk about. It's like ship cancer.
That's not the same, Joker. There's nothing here that was even part of the real Normandy.
There's us. I have to take what I can get. The last 2 years sucked. You'll see. Even if an AI is spying on us, no way they'll invest this much just to screw us over. It'll be better than the old days.
I hope so. I died.
Yeah, you were...
I love that line. That's a great line. Meanwhile, if you aren't feeling quite nervous enough about Cerberus yet...
So how many operations is Cerberus running right now?
I have a block that prevents me from answering that question.
What do you mean?
Although I am less controlled than other AI, I am still subject to behavioral blocks and the physical isolation of my hardware. In this case, I am prevented from truthfully answering your question by Cerberus's levels of secret classification.
So indeed, Cerberus is refusing to tell me information about their organisation, and AI is actively lying to me. So that's fun.
I serve additional functions which are restricted at this time.
Restricted functions? Like what?
I do not know. Some of my databases are sealed, some of my hardware is kept offline. I assume that when certain unknown conditions are met, those functions will be released to me.
Oh, that feels good, doesn't it? The fact that the AI has secret functions, even the AI doesn't know what they are, but at some point those will just be triggered. Beautiful. Over here to the right of the ship, we've got ourselves a nice armory here. So this is where you can fix your loadout if you want to. Right now, obviously, I've got no options. I've literally only got the weapons I've got, so nothing I can do there. But if you want to change your loadout, that's where this happens. This is also the room Jacob lives in. For the most part, like, everyone has a room they live in. Unlike Mass Effect 1, where, like, Rex and Ashley and Garrus all live downstairs in the garage, this time everyone's kind of got a room to themselves that's in some way relevant to them. So Jacob lives here in the armory for whatever reason. So, meanwhile, at the back of the ship, we've got another door into the tech labs here, and indeed a meeting room, a kind of a comm room and a briefing room here. We don't use this for much. This is the room I use to chat to the Illusive Man if he ever wants to chat, and we also hold team meetings in here, though we don't actually have any chairs in here. I know, maybe we have to drag chairs in from a different room or something. It feels like in the meeting room we should have chairs, but apparently we do standing meetings. I used to work at an office where they did standing meetings. It was generally deemed to be a good idea because it would keep meetings short because nobody wanted to have the meeting drag on too long if they were standing. All that happened was the meetings were long and everyone had tired legs. Anyway, now, of course, the elevators are back. Back in the old Normandy, I hated the old freight elevator. Now it's elevators between every damn floor. Luckily, the loading screen is not too long. So let's start off with the captain's cabin up top. And yep, there we are. Luckily, I've got a fairly fast computer, so the loading time is not too bad at all. Head in here, and we've got Shepard's cabin, including, huge amounts of fish tanks, but no actual fish. It's a very odd design choice. They said, you know what? We'll put a big fish tank in the Normandy, but we won't put any fish in it. We'll just give Shepard a big fish tank. But whatever. You've got another kind of copy of your terminal up here if you want your terminal here. You do indeed have... They kind of weirdly... They put a photo of Liara there. Like, I didn't put that there. That was already here. So... I don't know. I guess that means, like, they knew me and Liara were a thing, so they thought they'd just put a photo of her up on the desk for me, which is a bit weird. This just tells you, like, all of your achievements and stuff, so don't have to worry about that yet. There is indeed a bathroom at the back, which is not that good, actually. Not that good. I guess this is a wet room, to be honest, because, like, actually, this is a badly designed wet room, because, like, if this is, like, the open shower here, feels like water potentially could kind of like, well, maybe this door's like sealed or something. I don't know. This feels a little bit unusual. That there's. I think we could have a nicer bathroom than this. I think we could definitely make do with a nicer bathroom than this. There's also a toilet. You can just flush it whenever you want. Another armor locker like we saw previously, so again you can change your armor if you've got any pieces to slot in. You can also change your casual appearance if you want, which is nice. Which do I like? This one I've never been so keen on because it kind of makes me look like a doctor. But I kind of like dressing up like a bit more nicely, like I'm actually like the captain of the ship. That one's quite good. So we'll apply that and I'll wander around like that. In fact, you can kind of set the music in here. It's just nice you can personalize this place a little bit. I wish you could do a bit more. You'd actually do a little bit more in terms of like deciding what furniture or whatever was in here. But you can do like a little bit of stuff in here, which is nice. And it's certainly nicer than your cabin was in Mass Effect 1. Because your cabin in Mass Effect 1 you basically never went into because there was nothing in there, so there was no point. Whereas in here, this is where your kind of armor locker is and stuff. So, and of course, there's your fish. So like, you know, there's a bit more point of actually coming up here. Anyway, on to the next. So down on the third floor, that's again kind of designed to look a little bit like the actual kind of, you know, the original Normandy. Again, it's not a perfect recreation, but it's a very close recreation and more than they really needed to. Interestingly, on the original Normandy, like, there were all those sleeper pods up there, but there were no actual, like, beds or bunks anywhere, so I assume, like, if anyone wanted to sleep in the original Normandy, they did use sleeper pods. Whereas in this case, there are actual proper crew quarters with, like, bunks and stuff. So I'm guessing that, like, you know, in this version people actually go to sleep normally, whereas on the original Normandy I can only assume they didn't, because there was nowhere for everyone to sleep on the original Normandy. I suppose they did just use the sleeper pods, whatever the sleeper pods were. There's also rather pleasingly men's and women's restrooms, though if you actually try and go in the wrong restroom you can, but
Shepard, the women's restroom is on the starboard side of the ship.
yes, ED is not impressed with you going into the wrong bathroom. Though interestingly, they are actually completely identical, which is kind of unusual because it means like in the men's restroom there are literally just kind of like two toilets there. Like, you know, some urinals would have been welcome, guys. It's why we don't end up with queues in the men's restroom for the most part. Rooms are locked until such time as someone is actually living in there. So that's a room that someone is going to live in time, but they don't just yet, so therefore the room is locked away. Miranda lives in the room that was your office in the original Normandy, but again, she's made it a lot nicer than it was in Mass Effect 1. She's got proper, like, you know, leather sofas and nice beds and stuff. Though, admittedly, she probably could do with, like, a proper room divider here to separate her office space from her living space, but whatever.
Commander, what can I do for you?
Do you have a minute, Miranda?
No doubt you've got a lot of questions.
I want to know more about you. This is what I do. I'm Commander Shepard. I go up to people and learn about their personal histories.
Tell me about yourself, Miranda.
Oh, I guess that's fair. I've spent the last 2 years learning everything there is to know about you. Well, you should probably know that I've had extensive genetic modification. Not my decision, but I make the most of it. It's one of the reasons the Illusive Man handpicked me. I'm very good at just about anything I choose to do.
You certainly don't lack for confidence.
It's just a fact. My reflexes, my strength, even my looks, they're all designed to give me an edge. No point in hiding from it. It's the reason I'm trusted to oversee the most dangerous, risky, and technically demanding operations Cerberus undertakes. And it's why I was assigned to you. It's my job to make sure you succeed, Shepard.
To my mind, I think kind of like that plot point makes a little bit more sense if you're playing as male Shepard, because I do like to think that the Illusive Man specifically assigned Miranda to me, because the Illusive Man was fully aware that Shepard has this reputation for ending up sleeping with one of their crew, and he thought potentially if male Shepard could end up sleeping with Miranda, if Miranda stays loyal and Shepard's in love with Miranda, then that could actually work out very, very nicely indeed. I don't think that's part of the plan for male Shepard. It doesn't work so well with female Shepard because there's no way for female Shepard to end up with Miranda. Miranda apparently just does not swing that way. We'll learn more about Miranda's past as time goes by, but we don't need to learn everything straight away. Interestingly, in the area where you used to speak to Caden a lot, there is now actually a kitchen. Something, again, that the original Normandy was just kind of missing without anyone really pointing it out. But yes, there is now a proper little kitchen area here, though, admittedly, it's a bit of a small kitchen area for the fact that this guy appears to claim to feed the entire ship. Based on the number of mouths on the ship, I feel like you physically could not produce enough food in this kitchen to feed everyone at mealtimes, but what have you.
Commander Shepard, the hero of the Citadel. You did humanity proud that day. Mess Sergeant Rupert Gardner here. How can I be of service?
What do you do here on the Normandy?
What don't I do? Most think of me as the ship's cook, but I'm also the facilities technician and custodian. HVAC, plumbing, non-mission critical electrical. I make sure they're all clean and running.
So the man cleaning the toilets is also preparing the meals?
I wash my hands. Most of the time.
I like Gardner. He's great.
If I had some quality ingredients... Oh, shit. You've got more to worry about than grocery shopping on the Citadel. Forget I mentioned it.
No, I'm Commander Shepard. I enjoy doing really, really flipping tiny insignificant quests for XP.
If I head that way, I'll keep an eye out.
Much appreciated. Most of this list is probably standard fare for those namby-pambies on the Citadel.
And then if we head over to the med bay, there is in fact a surprise waiting for us here. It's another person that Cerberus has engineered to be right here for me to kind of give me a nice familiar sensation of home.
Commander Shepard, I watched the Normandy crumble with you on board. It's good to see you alive.
I'm shocked. You're serving on a Cerberus vessel now?
Surprising, even to me. Yet, here I am. The kind of trauma you endured would have changed most people. But not you, I see. Welcome back, Shepard.
Do you have everything you need?
I believe so. This medical bay seems very much like the sick bay on the original Normandy. Only thing missing are my private reserves. I even had a bottle of Ceres Ice Brandy that I was saving for a special occasion.
Oh, Dr. Chakwas, for you, anything.
I'll keep an eye out for a replacement bottle.
Meanwhile, if you ask her about why she joined Cerberus...
You're not the Cerberus type, Doctor.
I don't work for Cerberus. I work for you. On a mission that may be crucial to the survival of the human race. I have faith that your dealings with Cerberus will be ethical. I trust you, Commander.
And there she goes, she explicitly states it. She would never have worked for Cerberus normally. She only worked for them because they offered to let her work with you. Cerberus has intentionally built a crew designed to appeal to you personally as much as possible. The engineering deck is pretty much definitely the one that looks least like the original Normandy. It's very, very different. You've kind of got a little kind of under area down there that doesn't do anything right now. You've got this area here, a long kind of flat area that leads out to a massive reactor back here. In general, like this looks very, very different to the old Normandy. But I guess maybe the Illusive Man assumed you wouldn't really be coming this way for the most part. You've also got a brand new engineering team. They didn't actually bring back the original engineering team. Maybe kind of they assumed that not enough people would remember who Engineer Adams was. Because no offense, in Mass Effect 1, while I do remember his name, he only really had ever one conversation with you. He just kind of said it was nice to have Tali. They kind of said, oh, Commander's here. Think she's going to say anything to us, or she's just going to stand there. Let's make this really, really awkward for them. No, let's not.
You came all the way down here to see us?
I do indeed like that I have Scottish people in my engineering bay.
Are you set up okay down here?
We can't complain. I just wish it didn't take so long to calibrate the FBA arrays.
Kenneth, you're complaining.
What kind of problems are you having?
When they upgraded the Normandy design, they got a bit sloppy with the FBA couplings. I won't bore you with the tech, but there's an array of attenuators in the primary power transfer system that channels the field bleed.
Kenneth, you're boring the commander with tech. In short, if we had T6 FBA couplings installed, it'd save us a lot of maintenance time each day.
So again, they've got something they need. This is kind of the reason you want to just kind of tour the Normandy the moment you get here, because like 3 or 4 different people just have a little thing that you can pick up from various markets. It's worth getting it in your kind of journal straight away, so when you're in the relevant market, you can actually sort it out the moment you get it. Because it's basically just an easy little bit of just like XP, money, something, something, something. Anyway, back up to the command deck. I will say one thing Kelly is quite useful for, which is if you step up onto the galaxy map and you actually have an unread message, she will actually tell you have an unread message. Again, I kind of feel like this could have been done by a blinky light without actually having a dedicated member of staff, but what have you. Let's open the galaxy map, and I'd say there's one thing I would like to do to finish off today. And that's just quickly show off how the new galaxy map works, because to my mind, I think they made it a lot better. Like in Mass Effect 1, you were just moving a little cursor, whereas in Mass Effect 2, you're actually flying around. So this I do actually like a whole lot better. You've kind of got planets here. You can see we could like dock right here outside Omega. Obviously everyone's saying, hey, we should start off by recruiting the Professor on Omega. So obviously they start you off in Omega. While you're flying around here, you can fly around here as much as you want. There's fuel depots in pretty much any system that's got a mass relay in it. That lets you top up probes, which we'll get to in a second, and fuel. The reason why you want fuel is if you want to go outside of the kind of the little system, the local system that actually has the Mass Effect relay itself, you used to be able to do that for free in Mass Effect 1. Not anymore. Now if you want to go to any different system, it actually costs fuel. You burn fuel to go out that way. So I won't actually bother doing all this. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Why not? Let's head down to Batala. So you can see that I have 1,000 fuel, and in the bottom left, that's being burnt away. So I've burnt like 200 odd fuel just to get out this way. And you don't necessarily know there's actually going to be anything good here when you actually get here. So you get here, you find a planet, you go up to it, and you start scanning it. That's a good colour for a planet right there. So this is how scanning works now. Surveying is no longer a thing. It was just a simple button push back in the day. Now things take a lot longer, and I think this is one of the things that people really don't like about Mass Effect 2, which is if you want to get kind of resources, and you need resources to upgrade your guns, you need to scan planets and actually find those resources. Once you've found a good kind of spot, your rumble pack will let you know, or alternatively just look at the thing there, launch a probe at it, and you'll get a whole bunch of resources. So right now I have 2,500 of palladium, and that's got up to 3,300. Each of the resources is used for upgrading a different kind of type of weapon. We'll get to that when we actually do some upgrading. This is a very, very slow process, to be honest. Like, it is quite slow, and I won't be doing any of it on screen. I will off screen it. I find the best way to do it, by the way, is just kind of go around the outside and then just kind of, yeah, just wait for the right moment, because you can kind of just see it popping up there. So it's much faster to kind of go around like this, and then you'll see the right moment kind of popping by. So we kind of got someone right here. Yeah, there we are. So there's a really, really good reserve of palladium. The rumble pack's going crazy right now. Yeah, that's like 2,500 palladium in one go, and then just kind of skip round, just look for another one. This clearly is like a planet that's covered in palladium. Generally, planets like have one or two resources you find a lot of, rather than just like a random distribution of resources. This makes Element 0 or EZO very rare, because Element 0 generally you won't find many planets with it on, but if you find a planet with Element 0 on it, you'll find a lot of Element 0 on that planet. So you kind of need to find some of that, so it can take a little while to do. And just one more very important thing to show off today. This is very, very important. Before I never show off scanning again, there is one very important thing to show off, which is if we head over to the local cluster, pretty much the same cutscene as they used to be, which is pleasing to see it back. There's only one system in the local cluster. It's our own system. So if you just head over to Uranus and then start the scanner, there is actually unique dialogue here. And by the way, you won't find much here because obviously, you know, humans have already pretty much depleted this place, but you can still get a little bit of stuff. But if you fire a probe at it...
Really, Commander? Probing Uranus.
There we go. Probing Uranus, says Edie. There is indeed unique dialogue for scanning. You said this place was depleted. There's clearly still something here. Yeah, pretty much all the planets in the Sol system itself are actually depleted because humanity has already pretty much sucked them all dry. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen, probing Uranus. With probing Uranus done, I'd say I'm going to call it a part here. I'm very content with all of that. We've kind of got introduced to our new ship and our new crew, and we found out the beginning of the actual wider plot. We need to build a team to fight the Collectors, and we will kick that off by heading, I'd say we need to go to the Citadel because Anderson asked us to. You know what, I like Anderson, let's go and see him at the beginning of next time. But then I think we'll make our way onto Omega, ladies and gentlemen. And after a little bit of retail therapy, ladies and gentlemen, I'd say we probably do indeed want to go and get ourselves the Scientist, because then we can start upgrading our guns. And we definitely want to be upgrading our guns on this flipping difficulty. So, that's all to come next week, ladies and gentlemen. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been Many a True Nerd. This has been Mass Effect 2 Insanity. Oh, it's good to be back with Commander Shepard. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Oh, Matt, he set me on fire. Oh, the fire's quite pretty, but I am on fire. Oh, I found a dog. Hello, you dog meat. You're going to be my dog now.
I found an enemy. I'm being shot. John, help me.
No, I'm making friends with this dog. I've not got a shield out.
It just goes inside you.
Your weapon has a scope. LT, and then I can zoom the most...